Hail, hail, welcome to the HomeBhoys Late Podcast. It is Wednesday, the 1st of October. Jesus Christ, where has the year gone? I'm, of course, Joe McKenna. We are back, joined by a man who is bragging rights, Marty Flynn.
What's happening, bro?
Given the past few weeks of names, Marty, that's falling off there. Come on.
Well, that's bragging rights. We're playing Braga, so we have to play for the bragging rights.
Get that. Hopefully the higher standard as well. That's all it is. as do our 9.5 listeners. How you keeping? You good?
Oh, good bit there. Fucking hell. Sitting
Happy
here in my
days.
pajamas watching fucking the Champions League, which we should be in. So it's a bitter pill to swallow. But my pajamas are nice and comfy, so I can't complain.
This is midlife. This is midlife, isn't it? I mean,
That's it. So
talked up.
can't walk about with your clackers hanging out. We have 2 kids. No, man, you need to get the jammies on.
You could,
Man
but
jam.
you could, but
The
social
man
club. I mean, social
Your
club.
clackers.
Oh, man, Jesus Christ. Have to get the man jams on.
We're joined by the mayor of the Eastern and Western world, Jason Higgins.
Well,
What's happening, brother? You good?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right.
No long shanks this week. He is flat to the mat, as they say. Do you know what? I listened to the podcast the other day, and I had Enoch Powell on it. And I don't mean to seem rude, but Liam sounds a wee bit like Enoch Powell, no?
Fuck.
It's kind of a paradox in my mind when I hear his voice. Anyway, moving on.
The rivers of blood running down Rutherglen High Street past Chapman. What the fuck? Past the fucking man Lee.
I was cutting the grass the other day and it comes this podcast. I was like, did it come on? I was like, holy fuck. Epiphany. I was like, I must mention that. It's per form. But listen, the best thing about Liam is he's a better fucking person than any of us. There we go. Right. Scott McCurry's got to come on soon. He is off doing whatever Scott McCurry does. The man's a busy human being. Between our last podcast and this podcast, we have had Partick Thstle, we have had Red Star, and we have had Hibs. Jason, you were at the Partick Thstle game. I want to start this podcast on a positive note, going like, wasn't that a great experience? Wasn't that energetic? Wasn't the football good? Wasn't the passing good? Because it feels like it's been a while since we've had that kind of energy in any of these podcasts. I mean, and for you, I suppose on the day, I mean, is that a good wee trip? I've never been to that ground.
Aye, it's all right. It's right near the city centre. It's kind of equidistant how far Celtic Park is for the city centre. Obviously, the north side of the city centre is kind of the same distance. You know, if you were up the Tappy Hope Street or whatever, up Sucky Hall Street, you could probably walk to Firhill, and the same it would take you for Argyle Street to walk to Celtic Park. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, aye, it's all right. And it was good to get back in for a pint in the Star and Garter. Good Celtic pub up that way. Pal Gaga, he runs it. But aye, it's good. So me and Ellie went, Mick and my mate John was up for Liverpool. So met him before the game. Then went and met a few of the boys from the main stand, and then we got into the seats. Queuing up was a fucking nightmare. Bloody took us about 25 minutes to get in, so I missed the kind of protest at the start. It's into the seats, and I tell you, it was an absolute scorcher. See, in the stadium, it was roasting. Obviously, when the sun was shining, we were kind of near the back of the stand at the left, but see, when the sun was on, you fucking hurt the bum of hole on you. And it was good. And I thought Celtic played all right. You know, they're not playing a great team, but it was good to see banging in a few goals, which hasn't happened very often this season. Sinisalo in goals, which I would vote for more often. Tierney got a good 80 odd minutes in or whatever. I think he maybe played the full game, in fact. Can't remember. But he played right a good innings. Tunecki was good. Colby Donovan was brilliant. And aye, it was good. Some good goals. It was a weird one as well. I don't know what it was like in the TV, right? But see when we scored the first. See when Yang scored the first. None of us knew it was in.
Invisible goal, even on TV, Jason. Invisible goal. I was watching it going like,
It was like no celebrating or anything. But like, how the fuck did he miss that? And we didn't know what happened. And then it was like, oh, it's a goal. Seeing the players cuddling each other. So aye, and then obviously Scales popped up with a good header, 2-0, and then Deneke, and then Luke McCowan get one near the end. But aye, good win. Wasn't easy to be honest with you, up against not a great side, but it was decent. It was a good wee day, and aye, good wee day. A good wee day had by all. Had a good. Right, I was telling you about what happened after it. So we gave my mate John a lift. He was getting the train from Central back to Liverpool. We checked and it was going through Motherwell. So Ellie dropped his off at the Railway Tavern, went in for a couple of pints, and then John went and get the train. But as I was standing there, this guy came up to us and he's like, hey, Jason, he's like, you can't remember me, can you? And I'm looking at him and I knew his face, but I'm like, I can't. But I says, I know who you are, but he says, Frank McElvaney. And I'm like, my God. I used to go to the football with him years ago when I was a kid. And he was a good bit older, same school as me, a good bit older. He lived really close to us where I grew up. And what the fuck you been doing? He's like, I've been in Australia for 20 years. I'm like, right.
Wow.
So he just come back. He was in Perth. So he was a mate. I said to my mate Gary, I need to say to my mate Gary, because he didn't know Gary, but he was in the Perth CSC and that. He was over there 20 years. But him and his missus didn't have kids, but they just decided it was time to come back. And their parents getting old and stuff like that. So that's him back. So I'll see him again for a few pints. And he's on the lookout for a season ticket. So I'm going to try and source him one. But that was about 20 years ago we were going to the game. He says, mate, that was 30 years ago we were going to the game. The guy, like, Jesus Christ, man, I'm old. But nice big fella. And then the ironic thing was, it was a couple of minutes later, he came in and says, you got a minute? He says, come here. And he was there with his mate, this guy, Div. So I'll give Div a shout out. Because he listens to every episode. He's like, you Jason for the HomeBhoys? I'm like, aye. He says, fuck's sake. He says, I've listened to every episode for about 15 years. He says, I know everything about your family. He says, how's the key worker getting on and all that? He was asking for all yous. Aye, so he's obviously been listening to it. I don't know if he listened to the podcast, but shout out for Div. It's good to talk to you. Good to get a pint.
Oh, bless Div.
Aye. So, a good wee day. Good to get into the semi-finals, and it was we were driving back in the car as the draw was getting made. So shout out the window for all the war. I get the hands. But, I was kind of glad we got in, to be honest with you, but wait and see what happens when that comes round. But what did you think of the game?
It was very for those of us on our arses on TV. It was a bit mental, particularly in the first half, because you couldn't really fucking see. And I'm assuming I was the same in the ground. You know, when the Yangs goal came in, you go, "Was that a goal? What the fuck?" It was like a kind of a delayed reaction,
Weird.
just because of the sunshine, you know. So, but look, totally professional performance. Put them to the sword. Multiple goals. Just exactly what you want to see, you know, against that level of opposition. No fucking about and in and out, no injuries, that sort of thing. So yeah, happy enough. No complaints.
I know. Joe. He's in mute. Joe's otherwise occupied. The hostess with the mostess.
Them is fucking guitar, remember? Hello, you there?
Somebody muted me. Marty and Scott. He's probably on there. No, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good game. I thought it was nice to see a bit of a spring in the step, a bit of sprightly passing, a bit of forward movement, because at times it does go back to that kind of horseshoe movement. But seeing that game was the first time I'd seen a lot of kind of somewhat creative ideas. I mean, trying things, people being in spaces and just fucking, football players kind of playing the game for themselves in a certain way. It felt like a lot less constricted by strategy or tactics. I know it felt a lot more loose, right? It did, and it was really enjoyable. And I did have to, suppose, caveat that with the fact that it was, a lesser side. But it was nice to see. It was good to see. I really enjoyed it. I mean, the standout players like Deneke, not there. I mean, still doing the exact same thing. Just that's what a guy like that does. That's how he plays football. That's kind of what you want. I mean, there's no attitude to what he's doing. It's very much just like this is what I do. This is how I play football. I go at people. I try to take people on. Try to make things happen. Got an attitude. I want to raise the fans up. I want to have fun. And you know what? Fucking
You sound
Yeah.
as if you're in the loo, Joe.
Me, do you?
Aye.
Oh,
Sound like you just get your normal mic on.
let me just check it.
You hear that, Marty? Does it sound quite
I
distant?
just sound a wee bit far away, yeah. I don't know what
You
the
know
fuck I sound like. I hope I sound alright.
You're perfect, mate. You're perfect as always.
As yes, indeed.
And a special mention's got to go to Scales. Big Scales,
That-
brilliant.
Is that any better?
That's better, aye.
It's better
Yeah,
now,
back.
Joseph.
That's better now. There you go. The
Sounding
problem
much
was
more
I
sexual. Or...
didn't have my USB mic on. The problem, something wrong with this computer. I don't fucking know. Anyway, the point was, I enjoyed the game. I thought it was good. I really enjoyed the way the team played. But caveat that with the fact they're playing against a lesser team. But again, it was nice to see, and it gave me some level of hope. Again, like I said, players like Tenetkin, that they're still showing that they're exciting and worth watching. I mean, at the minute, it looks like we made a want to watch with someone like Tenetki. I mean, given his fucking energy, but again, you need to caveat that with the fact that it doesn't take an awful lot to fucking inject energy into the way we're playing lately. And that was kind of one of the bright sort of moments. I don't know. It was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed a good win. Enjoyed seeing good goals, but I also kind of had to go, is this sustainable at a higher level? And it appears that it's not necessarily the case.
Aye. We've been shit at the start of the season, let's face it.
It's been, do you know what? It's been just a level above turgid. It's been fucking difficult to watch. I mean, here's the thing, right? Seen Saturday against Hibs, right? I know I'm jumping ahead, but I thought that was a really good performance. It just wasn't a win.
I'm hearing loads of folks saying that, and I'm
not like it wasn't brilliant, right? But there were parts of it that made me think, okay, if something's coming together here, right? But again, I also in the back of my mind are going like, I should not now be at this stage watching Celtic in this season at this point, thinking, I hope things come together soon. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be at that stage. I mean,
no, but the match stats again bear out. You know that it was a dominant performance without putting without getting the required result. That's the problem. We don't have the cutting edge up front, but there's nothing really wrong at the SPL level with the work that the team's doing. It would be different if you weren't creating chances, but I mean, their keeper fucking 6 saves or something in the match.
Yeah.
I think it was something like 27 shots. You know, half a dozen of which went on target, which were all saves. Do you know what I mean? You'd probably another fucking 15, 16 shots that went fucking wide or hit the woodwork or, you know.
You're on the Hibs game, aye?
Is that what you had moved on to? I thought.
No, I
No.
was just wondering if you're still talking about Thistle there.
No, I'm talking about the Hibs.
I was just kind of talking about the performance ways. I mean, the two performances were I thought were decent. You know what I mean?
The performance.
One got a smashing result. The other one got a draw. Right in between that, there's Braga as well. Not Braga, sorry, Red Star. I mean, and
sorry, I probably jumped ahead, but we're talking about the start of the season and how things are going, particularly since the split in the general sense. You know, it's not really. It's annoying. You know that the performances are annoying, but they're still creating chances. They're still dominating the ball. So it's not like, do you know what I mean? It's not like we're hopeless, basically, because we're not. You know, we need something to click, and we're definitely lacking that real quality. Do you know what I mean? And it might be Nacho. We don't know. He's still getting up to speed, or you know, and it's been good to see him how he started as well. And as I say, setting up that goal, the cleverness of it at in Fairhill, you know, where he clipped the ball to get a score. It was just like that's what we need. We need a wee bit of gale about the team to break down these flank defences. And the other thing is too is Hibs are a better team. Do you know what I mean? Hibs will finish top 6 this year. They're not a bad side. They've been on a great run themselves. Yes, we should be beating them. Yes, their results, they haven't won every match either. Hearts are the more dominant team at the minute. You know, and all that being said, it's still very early in the year to be sort of, you know, going too mental, I think.
No. I kind of get that, and it just the full thing for the disaster that was the transfer window, to Rodgers being vocal against the board, to the fans protesting against the board, and just everything, and then the team's performance has been below par. And I get you can mention the personnel, but we're playing in the SPL, and we've got players that are multiple times better than just about every team we're facing. So I'm kind of not really buying it for that. I get in Europe, right? I get in Europe that, no including Kyra, because fucking hell, they were hopeless. And it's just galling to watch them in the Champions League shitting fucking all sorts of goals. They'll be lucky to fucking get a point. They won't get a point. And you're just, then you look at some of the teams that are playing in the Champions League, and is it a bit of a blessing that we're not in it? Because we're so far off it. But so, in that, let's go to the Red Star game, see what we thought of that, because there's quite a lot to talk about through that. I don't know what you thought. Obviously, I didn't go, so I was watching the tell what you use. What did you think of that?
It was a decent fest. It was a good, to me. It was a good performance. It was a fight. It's a fight I would have loved to have seen against fucking Kyrad, to be honest with you. But I mean, still fell flat at the end of it because I felt there was definitely enough in us to win the game. But happy enough to take a point. I mean, at the end of the day, the way this league campaign works in these European competitions now, it's all about kind of building a base of points. 1 point's better than fuck all at this stage. I just feel that more could have been achieved. But again, I feel like that every game now.
That's brilliant, Joe. That's the way leagues work, building a base of points. Fucking hell, you're on the ball, right? By the way, you're on the ball.
Listen, I told you, I'm here to give clear and transparent context, Jason. You know how I work, mate. Succinct wordplay only.
What I found surprising was some of my mates went fucking mental at the match last week. Like, they were raging and really annoyed. Like, group chats were red hot. You know, and I kind of had the same attitude. Joe, well, it's not really a bad result. Like, we're away from home. You know, maybe they're not as good a team as us, but our fucking away record's appalling. To come away with any sort of a result, you know, is better. And I'm watching all my mates time hops and stuff on Facebook today, and it's this time last year was fucking Borussia Dortmund. You know, and they're all ready for fucking committing Harry Curry on them. But when I fucking checked the table, about 3 days ago. It was like, I hadn't even bothered me arse looking at the table, and we're ninth. And I was going, oh fuck, we're ninth. I couldn't believe it. Do you know what I mean?
No, 17th.
Well, I thought it was fucking. I thought we were 8th or 9th or something like that.
Must have been. Must have been. We would have played on the Wednesday, didn't we?
Aye.
So there'd still have been a rake of games on Thursday to play.
Oh, maybe I was looking at an outdated table, but so I mean, even so, like, you could see it was going to be tight at the start of this anyway. So again, there's so much to play for. It's if we can keep players fit, I think injury is going to be our biggest worry. We really just have no depth. Do you know what I mean? And we need to keep players on the pitch, you know, to solidify the team, let them get to know each other. And if we're chopping and changing all the time because of injuries, I think that's going to fucking kill us. You know, I'm sure we'll talk about the summer and reflect on the fucking transfer window many times as we go along here, but it really sums it up. You know, that we're down to digging into the youth team again, and maybe that's not a bad thing. You know, maybe there are other Kieran Tierney's or whatever to be uncovered there, and certainly the young lad Donovan hasn't done himself any harm at all, and taking a place in the team. So all that has to shake out. But playing the Thursday Sunday is an absolute pain in the balls. Like, we all know that. It's just not good, you know, and it's just not ideal. Do you know what I mean? So if we're coming out of matches like the Partick Thstle match, we come out with no injuries. I was actually thinking that to myself, thank fuck, no one got hurt in that game. It was just professional. We got it done and we got away. You know, so things like injuries I think are going to be really, really vital for us. And if you remember last year, we went on that big run last year up to Christmas, and it was a really solid team. The injuries only really started after the run kind of dropped off at the end of the first phase of the autumn phase of the Champions League. So if we can maintain some level of stability in the team, and you know, again, like there's players who have brought into who haven't really made a great impression. Like Balakwisha would be the one who sticks out to me.
Yeah.
You know, who really just hasn't looked the part yet. But again, until these players get 5, 6, 7 full games under their belts, it's really, really hard to know. Do you know, it really is. And Scott will be on shortly, and Scott loves talking about the tactics and what Rodgers is doing and stuff like that. And you can kind of understand this point because he's going, these players don't seem to be brought in to fit this role or these roles that they're being asked for. So why would they be firing on all cylinders? And you know, I definitely take his word for it. I think there's stuff to be said about that. So the more Rodgers can see boots on the pitch, so you know, we're all moaning about being in the Europa League, but it's probably not a bad thing because everybody's getting games. He's getting a chance to rotate the squad. You know, he can test different players in different positions and see what they're worth, while still being able to make a sort of a bigger dent in 6 weeks' time when it really counts. You know, coming into that last stretch is when you need to be on your game. And again, there's going to be more fucking international breaks and stuff like that. So the more you can actually see the players playing together and whatever, then you're obviously ultimately going to be in a better position to make better decisions. So we'll see what happens, you know. But I don't think
Marty,
I don't think that result last week was a bad result whatsoever.
I was wanting them
That's
on. Why are you bringing all this reason into the podcast? What the fuck? I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. You feel like some of my mates last week were literally like there was one of them I said you need to start watching football. Like there's no fucking joy. Just there's no joy in it for you whatsoever. I don't know why you put yourself through it. You can't see any good at all in what's on the pitch. And like everybody's critical. Like I'm fucking critical. I was absolutely fucking fuming at the end of the transfer window. Like us all. Like there's no question about it. But when you see us going away and getting an away result in Europe, you're going, that's like it's not. I've definitely fucking seen worse results. Fuck's sake.
Oh,
No longer,
yeah,
no
yeah.
longer ago than this time last year, as I've just said. So we didn't go and disgrace ourselves. We played some decent football. Tough place to go, obviously. Belgrade's a cauldron of football, like always has been. So, and Red Star aren't the team they were in the late '80s, but that's not the point. You know, neither are fucking Celtic. We're not the team we were in the late '60s.
But
So
I think the issue we have in that is like since I swear to God, like, this is the way it seems to me. Since what went on during the transfer window and kind of what has transpired, I suppose, in terms of the fans and the board and the club since the past couple of sort of number of weeks, months, whatever, there seems to be an embedded level of like, this could have been better. If only. Right? There's almost like a feeling of if only. Right? It's like we're driving a car we didn't service. Right? I don't know. That's
So I think you need to separate the two, right? So we've still got an issue with the board, and folk have said on the chat that the board has put out the olive branch for the meeting on the 6th of October. So Scott will join the podcast and we'll get more information on that. We'll get to that point later on in the podcast, obviously. But I think you need to separate the two of them, right? So the board are absolute fucking not fit for purpose because of what they delivered in the transfer window and what they've delivered many transfer windows previous to that, and then a ton of other things in relation to fan board relationships and the full harmony within the football club. The board are just no fit for purpose. But the team we've got at the minute is the team we've got, so we just need to support them. And that's who we've got and until January comes, because it's a double-edged sword as well, because we didn't get the players in, and plus then we subsequently find out that Maeda and Hatate, etc., went out the door. And it's kind of shown with their performances, not so much Maeda, but I'm a big fan of Rio Hatate, but he has a fucking empty jersey, man. He needs dropped. He's fucking hopeless. So it's a waste of a player. And then you're going away to Red Star Belgrade and you're starting Yang in the wing, and it's just not good enough. You know, and to be fair, when we made the substitution, we brought in Iacho on. I thought Nygren stepped up as well. He seems to have a good understanding, and the boy put through for him was world class. What a finish!
He's a very hard worker, him, Jason.
It's never stopped running.
yeah.
Fucking hell, he's an engine
Comes
on
across as
it.
a headless chicken at times, but he's trying like an absolute bear. And
That's what I think it is too. Yeah.
He's always offering for the ball. He's always open for the ball.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And you look at the defence. Thought Tierney played all right. Everybody probably their heart in their mouth when obviously he did that cracking tackling the boy, and then he was doing it like, oh fuck. But he got up, and I thought he did all right. But the thing with Tierney's kind of disrupting the way we play in a way, because he doesn't invert no like Greg Taylor. See the way the team were kind of playing last year, it's kind of no like that. And obviously it'll come, but he's a class act, but he's just no, I don't think he'll be the first to admit probably he's not been firing on all cylinders, but I'm sure that'll come. But the good thing is his fitness seems to be getting better and better. I know he didn't play the weekend. But midfield, McGregor was pass marks, Nygren was good, Hatate an empty jacket, but the defence was good. Scales, Carter Vickers, and young Donovan was great. I didn't think Tunecki was great, by the way, against Red Star Belgrade. I think he's kind of tapered off a wee bit. I don't think he was. I don't know, but he's shown signs that he's going to be a player for us, so that's good. But as I say, the big plus point for me was Iniacho when he came on. He looked, I mean, he could have got a hat trick, you know, and he was really good, and he knows where the net is.
Also, too, Jason, it was good to see the decision being made early to get him fucking on.
Aye.
We were clearly crying out for a player like him, so like, you know, it wasn't like 10 minutes to go, which it might have been. So you're like, thank fuck, you know, at least that decision was being made quickly to get you going.
Aye. The one thing I would say, but for me, Schmeichel, what the fuck's he doing at their goal? What the fuck? What's he doing out there?
Well, I've made my feelings clear on him and on Hatate and Maeda. Like, they should be circled out of the team, like, without question. Like, Sinisalo hasn't put a foot wrong since he's been there. He had that extended opportunity last season, you know, with Schmeichel's injury. I don't think he should have been taken out of the team for the cup final. I think he should have played. As I said, I always used the hot hands theory. He was doing well, so why take him out? Just let him play. Again, last week in the cup game, didn't have much to do, but didn't do anything wrong. And he's our long-term future, so it fucking makes sense to get him into the team now and keep Schmeichel as your backup. You know, an experienced long-term player in the rear with a gear. So, I don't know.
One thing I would say, Schmeichel did make a world-class save in the game. See that one he tipped onto the crossbar in the first half? Didn't he look like he got fingertips to what a save that was? So, I mean, he still offers some good things, you know, but I'm not a fan, to be honest with you. And the thing is, we're going to a semi-final against that mob. Heaven forbid, see if it goes to penalties. I'm just walking out because we've fucking no chance with him in goals. Not a chance.
Well, let us bring Scott McCurry in at this point then.
Scotty boy, happy birthday. Scotty boy,
It's your birthday.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
All right, man, how are we?
Happy birthday, Scott boy.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Best thing about that song was Stevie Wonder didn't know who he was singing it to.
A year older, no ways, or Scotty boy.
Hell, at least my team never got beat fucking 7-1 this year. Happy days.
Hey-ho!
You talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to make a cup of tea.
What's happening, man? What we chatting about?
We just kind of
we were on
Red
Red Star.
Thstle when we were getting on to the Red Star game. So
you done Thstle, aye. Thstle was decent. Thstle was good. I mean, it wasn't fucking magic. I mean, the best thing about Thstle for me was protest. Protest was outstanding.
I missed it because I had to queue up for about fucking 25 minutes, 30 minutes to get in.
Really? Was it that bad?
Aye.
Partick Thstle was notoriously bad, but we got in jig time. I know the stewards were kind of going do wally for the searches. Really mental. But the protest was excellent. I mean, the visuals of it was class. So well chuffed, well done everybody involved in getting that sorted. Well done them, brilliant. Red Star. I just like everybody else. I don't know really what to make it. I didn't think they were much cop. However, you've got to flying down on the table. We're not much cop now, so
no.
So
and they've had a great start to the season in their domestic league. I think they've won so many games at home.
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, I can see why people are frustrated. I can see why people are happy. I don't know. Do you remember last year when we drew Dynamo Zagreb and me and Liam were kind of peed off about what we could have done? I don't have that feeling this time. I mean, I thought we were going to pinch it at the end. I thought we looked the better team. The frustrating thing is that the Hibs game is down the line, because from the Thistle game to the Red Star game and even to the performance against Hibs, everything's getting steadily better. Do you know what I mean? But we're not getting the results to go along with it. I think it's a good start. I mean, we it sets us up nice to go and play Braga tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of hope it all works for us. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of the game, I heard you see the Schmeichel thing. I don't know. I just get a feeling people are going a wee bit overboard on the Schmeichel thing. But I don't know.
For their goal, you don't.
I mean, their goal's a bit of a shit show by everybody. Do you not think so? Do you know what I mean?
What's he doing out there?
As if we shot the bed altogether. Do you know what I mean? It was just, I don't know. I know what you're saying, but as you rightly said, see that save in the first half.
Oh, it's class.
I mean, I've said that straight away, and nobody was talking about it. My missus is like, no, he never touched it. And then you see just that wee touch. It was a peach. I mean, because I dare say without that touch, it maybe hits the post or the bar and comes in. Maybe, do you know what I
mean? It might have bounced out, but there's a chance he scored.
But still, exactly, bounces off your back or something. Do you know what I mean? But no, I mean, it was mad how Iheanacho just made such a difference to the attack line. Like, I don't know if you've all spoke about it, and I don't really want to stick your boot into Ida. I mean, I think Ida. I know you get frustrated with the criticism. If you listen to us, you never really got much off of us. We were all very pro Adam Ida. But no, the irony, James, me and you have been Jason, me and you have been talking, I'd say, for the last 3 seasons, that Celtic could do with an older Heedon, somebody who knows how to play the game, and somebody who could have educated Adam Ida how to play. I mean, it's so noticeable. I mean, I replied to you when we were linked to him that I think he's a good player. I mean, obviously things haven't went right for him the last couple of seasons, but that happens in football. That happens to the best of guys in the world. I mean, fucking Dennis Bergkamp, one of the greatest players ever, fucking went to Inter Milan fans were all fucking telling him to get him and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So I know that
that's the exact profile of a player we were talking about we should have been signing.
And we've brought him in, and the irony is Adam Ida would probably learn bundles off him, because even he's when he drops back in, he's holding up, and then his release is it's brilliant. It was night and day, and it was great to see, because see, as much as you're saying Nygren did a good game, Nygren done fuck all in the first half. I mean, the three midfielders were.
That's exactly what I said. When Iheanacho come on, Nygren was outstanding.
No, the identity, Jason, is me and you keep laughing about we went to 4-4-2 back. At times, it looked like he was playing Affy, the striker. It looked like he was kind of afforded that. I mean, he was playing a wee bit more right of that. However, but he was always cutting in, and it looked like we were playing maybe a 4-4-2 with him playing half so tight, and that certainly worked. And to get back to your point with Tierney, I think he's getting there. I love the guy, so I'm loath to even critique his performances rather than his return. But I mean, it hasn't been a great start, and I don't like saying that, but I think this team just needs to grow into itself. Do you know what I mean? It really needs to, as you say, we've took out a massive part of the team in Taylor, and people are kind of crying for it to bring it back, whereas I think once Tierney gets into his swing of things and maybe gets more comfortable back in his body and gets more comfortable playing in the team, that we could get this fantastic asset of him maybe overlapping and stuff like that
Yeah.
we had before.
He's got a great crossball in, you know.
Exactly, mate, exactly. And if you're bringing in an actual, he looks like somebody who can win headers, do you know what I mean? So it's not doom and gloom by any stretch.
See the funny thing when you said about the 4-4-2 with Negrin, did you see the one that in the actual when he hit the ball off the keeper's face, he tried to lift it? Negrin's at the right, all he's got to do is square it and he's got a tap in.
Yeah, it's a tap in. Aye, that's right. Yep. And I clocked that one as well. But I mean, the goal's a belter. Considering Negrin's got to do better with his chance. International's got to score with his first one. Then he scores a banger. And then, as you say, the one that he's a striker and we afford a striker being greedy. But as you say, lift the head, put it in. It's just frustrating that we couldn't have got that second. But
we were 1-0 up, aye.
I mean, to be honest, all these games will take care of itself. So there's no use fucking worrying about it. Well, as Marty always says, let's stop looking back. I mean, let's fucking keep looking forward. So I was happy enough with the draw. Do you know what I mean? Because they were telling us how it was going to be super hard and all that. But
aye, I was as well. To be fair, I was a wee bit sick at the end of the game, but when the dust settled, I was all right with it. To be fair, I was okay with it. So onwards and upwards. Anything else for Red Star? Or are we going to go into the Hibs?
Where's Joe? Where's the leader?
I'm back. No, I've said my piece.
I'm muted. Sorry, I'm back. No, I got this covered on Red Star. I mean, fucking again. Point.
To kind of close off Red Star, I don't think anything happened in the game that will affect us going ahead. You know what I mean? There's nothing in the game, I think. It's another game. The only thing that could negatively affect us would maybe what Jason says with the keeper. Maybe the keeper's kind of showing something. But in terms of defence, I think, now I think about it, Hatati's lack of form is still worrying. But there was quite a few positives come out for the game, I thought, and I don't think it will adversely affect what we're going to do in this group. I mean, you can't win, draw, just don't get beaten. You know what I mean? So there you go. Hi, Hibs.
My question is though, before we finish off, is: are you enthused about going forward in Europe?
Yeah. I mean,
good.
I don't see why not, Joe. I don't see why not. I mean, we've got a tough set of fixtures, but as was said, had we got any of these teams in the Champions League last year, you'd been punching the air and delight. So we've kind of got to look at it that way. They'll be tough. We might get beaten a couple. We might fucking get. You know what I mean? But I think we're in it to win it. We're in it to fucking compete, and that's.
Well, according to Chris Commons, we can win it. That's right.
Chris Commons.
I think I'll wait till his cousin Common Sense makes his feelings known first.
I think they can win it.
I mean, you're mental, no?
Anybody theoretically can win anything. I mean,
I don't think they will, but they could. Hey,
do you know what? I'd set my sights on a decent quarterfinal.
Beat the Huns in a quarterfinal to get into the semi. How's that?
Imagine that. Oh, baby. Ooh, Scott, you're tickling me.
Yeah.
But see,
anyway,
big long finger.
See the look at it.
Digital tickle.
And you're talking about, right, you've got Roma, Stuttgart, Villa, Porto, Forest, Real Betis. That's it. Bologna, Feyenoord.
To look at it quite, I mean, I've been vocal in the state of us in Europe and the state of our coefficient, We're, as I've oft repeated, we're fucking right beside Maccabi Tel Aviv in the coefficient points. So, in essence, a run in the Europa League could do us a world of good in terms of
100%.
filling up on the coefficient.
As well are in it,
But the point,
six teams.
The point being, it's annoying that we didn't strengthen because we're in the fucking Europa League, so we may as well have a rattle. So
Yeah.
if we had a bit of extra quality, it could have really done us the world of good. Do you know what I mean? If I had went out all guns blazing against Kairat and fucking, and things just didn't go for us on the night, then fair enough. If I had a strengthened, then maybe the team hadn't settled or whatever the fuck. But that wasn't the case. And for us to be in this league, we really should be going out to do you know what I mean? Going out to not lose. Like, that's my point about last week. We need all the fucking points we can get. Usually we go away and get fucking, blattered away from home or just, for whatever reason, not pull our weight. But to get any sort of points on the board, as Joe says earlier on, is important. Not just for the points of the league table this year, but for actually to rescue some fucking pride in our coefficient. It's awful.
I know. Such is life.
Say la vie. Say la fucking vie.
So I thought we were going to the positive there, and you kind of nosedive back into the fucking negative again.
No, but I mean, was my point too about getting into the youth team. And I mean, I'm sitting here now watching Villarreal. They're beating fucking Juventus 1-0. I've been in Villarreal. Like, Villarreal would comfortably fit into a corner of Glasgow. It's a small town with one big factory, and the owner has bankrolled the team from one factory, basically from their. They make tiles, they make ceramics.
Orson Alosa.
Do you know what I mean? So a team like that is consistently doing well in Europe, and they're just a small provincial Spanish town. There's nothing grand about the place. They've, a brilliant setup in terms of their training ground and their sports facilities, like indoor sports facilities and stuff. I've been there, and you're looking at them going, we're only doing that now. We only have indoor fucking facilities here and it's for our women's team. Like, what the fuck?
Are you talking about a football club with a progressive mindset and a development attitude? Marty, what kind of alien speak are you going on about here?
It's really annoying. So look, we are where we are. I suppose time will tell a tale. Maybe it's no different about the suspected attendance tomorrow night, whether there's going to be a crowd at all who turn up, because I know a lot of people were just going, fuck yous, we're not buying tickets. So I'm not expecting there to be any sort of we'll talk about the fan stuff and the silent protest all later, I'm sure, but just in terms of general atmosphere, I'm expecting there to be like a two-thirds full ground. I'm sure there'll be a crowd there.
Marty boy.
No problem. Go ahead.
Then we can fucking wangle into that.
Hibs.
What was the frustrating thing was, I think Hibs is the best we've played all season.
I totally agree, Scott. Totally agree.
Well, that's it. Finish, Marty. You crack on.
Wrap up the fun.
See, while sorry, I'll come back to you, Scott. Right, I did think we played well. Right, I think people have gone a bit overboard at how well we played, but I did think we played well, and there was a few reasons for that. Right, but I think one of the main reasons were Hibs were fucking hopeless. I can't believe how much they've regressed for last year, or even for the start of the season. Did you not think they offered next to nothing? And I don't think they were that good at defending either.
No, I definitely think they came to get away with a draw. Like, they were just totally set up. I mean, no way. You do see teams who play against us who play on the shoulder of the defender and ready to pressurize us. They didn't even really bother. When the ball was going out, there wasn't really much.
We had a good few chances, Martin. I mean, we've played teams that's came and sat in and have hardly made a chance. We had a load of chances.
I agree. It's surprising, but I was expecting more from them, Jason. I really was. I haven't been a bad. I'm agreeing with you completely. I think I was surprised. I really was, really surprised.
See, the thing was as well. Now you're waiting on the sucker punch, right? It's 0-0, get into like 80 minutes. You're want Celtic, but you're saying these cunts will fucking score here. But I didn't get that feeling at all. They hardly had a chance. They'd won in the first half.
Did they know one by the post?
Aye, in the first half.
Late on. Am I making that up?
They've won late on. I can't mind you that, Scott.
Do you know what? I never watched the highlights, so I maybe I'm making that up. But I think Ibrox definitely scared them, mate. because
possibly.
see Ibrox.
They went for it.
They got picked off, and the game was done. And I think they were a wee bit more reticent. I mean, in hindsight, it bloody worked for them, didn't it? But as you say, I'm not really one to moan about time wasting because I've seen us do it and I understand why people do it. The referee killed us stone dead a lot of the times. Some of his decisions were fucking bonkers, man. Who is it? Don Robertson, wasn't it?
I'm glad, see, before you move off that point, Scott, I'm fucking
I wasn't
delighted.
even finished making my own points. So.
No, but don't. But stick to that point first in case we forget.
Because that's I'm saying. Like I say, I've probably mentioned on here numerous times. We all sat in the boozer and Bobby Murdoch was lecturing us all about football, and somebody said to him, "What about the cheating fucking refs?" And he says, "Do you know why it wasn't the big decisions that killed us? It's when you're in a flowing move and they would call things back or they'd make a win and they would kill the flow of the game." He says that's the way refs killed us back in the day. And that's basically what happened there. But in a mere ominous way, because every time they flung themselves down, they seemed to get a foul, and it was so frustrating as a spectacle. I mean, obviously Hibs have no obligation to entertain our crowd, but they seemed, as Jason says, it's not even as if the 0-0 happened because of us, not because of them. And they'll get the plaudits, but it happened because of us. But the referee was majorly frustrating. You crack on, Jimmy.
I pointed out whatever it was last year because I remember Jason going, "Fuck, I had never thought of that." We had like 80% possession, and yet we had the bulk of the fouls. That is not possible. It's not possible to have the ball all the time and then create the most amount of fouls. It's against the laws of fucking physics.
Gravity.
You know what I mean? It's just, and that just sums it up. It was all just shit, breaking up play, fucking nonsense. I mean, there was no dig in the game. There was no, I can't remember any bad tackles even, or
stopping football. Just stopping football.
That's exactly. It's just totally fucking planned. Totally planned throughout the game. Like, it didn't just happen. No way. Sometimes referees. Sometimes referees are shit, and you know yourself. Sometimes referees get themselves into a bind during the match, and they'll call a load of frees quickly, either to stamp their authority on a game or because they've lost control of a game and they don't know what they're doing, so they just fucking start calling fouls. And we've all seen referees who behave like that. This is consistent behaviour in Scotland, and it's consistent behaviour at Celtic. It's just absolutely abnormal, and it wouldn't happen in Spain or fucking Italy.
I don't want to discount how good Hibs keeper was, because I thought that man Salinger was brilliant.
Oh, he had a good game. There's no doubt he had a good game. We can't dismiss that. But when you're kind of doing an actual miss,
the crossbar of the better game.
Crossbar, fucking killer that one.
That's the big point in the game. I mean, the
other one too, Scott, where the ball flew across the front of goal. Who put that in?
Yeah.
And you could not work out how it wasn't. And I was actually sitting here praying that a ball would come off somebody's arse or their elbow or something and go in, because you knew that once that happened, then there was a chance that the more goals would flow.
That's what you're sitting hoping for. You're hoping for the collapse once that happened. But then, as Jason rightly says, because you felt it in the crowd, that you were just waiting for we watched it. Was it Murrow last year? They done fuck all, and then in the last 10 minutes they went. And there was a game, even Dundee United, I think we were 1-0 up, and it was a midweek game, and they done nothing. They were awful. And then the last 10 minutes, they just looked like the best team in the world. And you're going, oh no, I think we ended up scoring 83rd minute or something. But, so you're always nervous. But the result basically came down to us, didn't it, really? Don't put away your chances.
If you watch the highlights, that's what you see. You see a team not taking chances.
But again, if it was a midfield game, do you know what I mean? You'd be fucking raging. If it was just being passed.
But I did feel the midfield kind of moved the ball a bit quicker forward in that game than they have done. recently.
Well, I mean,
not it wasn't stratospheric fucking levels of advance, but I mean, it was more than what we'd seen. There was some horseshoe football, but it wasn't all that.
You know, it's like it was reflected in the amount of chances that were created. And as I say, you have players like Tate and stuff like that who are just doing nothing. You know, who really just fucking need to go. And Yang, players like that who are in the squad who you just know you can't really trust. So to be creating lots of chances is definitely a good thing. And at some stage it should click. And again, if Iheanacho can sort of rise to the occasion and become the player we think he might be, then we should be okay.
I mean, I put it in our chat, so this is kind of obviously third-hand information, but I'd heard from somebody who spoke to the agent of Yang that Yang was doing in Swansea. They'd agreed a deal, and we stopped answering the phone call with the agent. Nobody took the call, and obviously, so you think about that. We'd agreed that Yang could go to Swansea, and we agreed that he could go to Birmingham, and we pulled the rug on that boy twice. Now, I don't think anybody on this chat is particularly fond of Yang. I mean, the boy tries, but we're certainly looking for an upgrade. But what was that to treat anybody and then expect him? I mean, I done a pod. I'll come and sorry, Marty. I'll come and talk about. I done a pod with Jim McInally. Unfortunately, it never really came out, and I'm still trying to save it. But just talking to him, and he was kind of incredulous that Yang's still at the club after saying he wants to leave, because obviously Jim's old school. If you don't want to play here, get to fuck. You know what I mean? So it's mad that we're. I don't know.
But to me,
treating people like that is wrong, though, Scott.
To me,
it's wrong.
No, definitely, Joe. That's my point.
To me, the thing about it was actually quite easy to explain to the agent what was going on. We hadn't got any replacements in. We're short up front. We're trying to get somebody other. We're trying to move players on. We're trying to bring other players in. Any agent would be going, fair enough. He has 3 years left in his fucking deal. Look, we're happy to let him go, but we can't at the minute. You know, but just dingy people like. You know what I mean? Anyway, an agent would go tell you, hold on, see if I can find you somebody fucking else. Let's see if we can. A good agent would be saying, well, let's see if I can get somebody in to help these moves happen. Because the bottom line is the agent's getting paid if the move happens. So it's in his interest to get his fucking player to there. So he could have been actually.
I wouldn't be surprised at Celtic, but in the slightest.
No, we're not surprised. We're not at all surprised. No, not in a million years.
Sorry, I took us off topic there for a bit.
And one thing you can say is fair play to Yang. He's still trying what a bear. Do you know what I mean?
Scoring invisible goals. Guy's amazing.
See him fucking last week. He had the ball last week on the right hand side. And you just knew what was coming. Like you go ahead, Youngers, where you go, son. Woo! And he looks like a cloud. It's like a cartoon cloud. And then the ball just comes out of the cloud and rolls away. You're like, fuck me. He would drive you up the fucking wall watching him. But you can't fault his fucking effort. Look, like there's ones in the team who have the ability and aren't putting the fucking effort in.
Yang on a cloud with Trippy Kata in the back.
I swear to fuck. I mean, I just burst. See when he lost the ball, I actually burst.
It's one for the young team, J-Mo.
As I said to you guys on Sunday afternoon, was it Sunday afternoon? Saturday, wasn't it? Saturday. As I said to you Saturday afternoon after the game, unfortunately, we've kind of been quite critical of Brendan Rodgers recently. I thought Saturday looked like a game that needed a bit of tactical nous rather than changing the players. I understand people were saying maybe Tanecki and Iheanacho or maybe getting a bit of leggy. I didn't see it that way. I felt we had to change something rather than just players. Taking somebody off, putting somebody on. Because we ended up, we've all lauded James Forrest. And I dare say we've fucking ended James Forrest's career a good few times on this pod and whatever, guys. But that he came on the other night and he was basically a man doing. Him and Tony Ralston couldn't cross the ball. You know what I mean? And then when they did cross it, they were hitting the first guy. So frustrating day. It ended up frustrating day. And like I said, maybe taking Taneki off seemed to reduces, what's the word, that bit of. I mean, Jota was always a guy to do
a
something.
bit of hope.
Maybe.
Well, you're bringing on Balak Wisher. Fucking hell, man.
Let's be honest with Balak Wisher, right? Like I said, I kind of lectured my mates after Red Star, and I said to them, it's far too early to be writing anybody off. I don't think we should. And then, that's before the game, sorry, and then I watched the game and you're sitting going, he's making it hard to defend them. And obviously, I don't think any of us will give up on the player. We've just got to comment on what we've seen so far. And the boys, he looks like he's struggling now, doesn't he, in terms of confidence or something. He does look like a better player.
I think he's got toothache.
But there you go. But there you go. We had Nicholas Kuhn, and we were all ready for shipping him back to Austria. And we had Palmer, and there was people telling us Palmer was the second coming. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, listen, the king of comebacks is Bobby Pettit. So let's give Balak Wisher with Bobby Pettit.
Explain yourself there, Joe. No idea what you're talking about.
Bobby Pettit came in and he was mince for a season, though. And then Martin came in, and the next time
Joe, stop digging. Stop digging, Joe.
Joe, he was always mince.
In 3 games.
No, he had his time.
Played good at Ajax away, and I can't think of any others.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though. I mean, Balak Wisher's got that kind of phase in him. Hopefully.
Well, 3 games will get out.
Well, there appears to be fuck all else.
But see, to be honest, boys, Balak Wisher has a pedigree.
He has.
What level the pedigree is in terms of Scottish football, I don't know, and I don't know how. Again, we just spoke about it. It just might not work. Straight away, it doesn't look great, but it's anybody that moves from one league to a different league gets my sympathies. Who was I don't know, did you watch the Simo Valakari thing? And I appreciate he was come from Finland to Scotland, but he was saying, you guys have got to respect the league because it's such a hard-working league that a lot of people get caught off guard. They might walk in and go, Belgian League, Scottish League, I'm getting more dough here, I've no need to work as hard. And then you realise you've got Grant Hanley fucking sticking the nut in you, do you know what I mean? Grant Hanley sticks a nut in you, you stay nutted. I mean, that's fucking... So there needs to be a point where we kind of go, let them settle, let them be cool. But the frustration thing is, do you remember how last year we afforded Arnie Engels and we afforded Adam Ida to learn on the job because we had suitable guys? If they weren't up to it that day, we had suitable guys that would come in, take the jersey, keep the motor running. The frustrating thing for Balak Wisher is everybody wants it. Everybody wants it now. And I think the boys struggling with that a wee bit because, I mean, we dropped him into Ibrox, fucking the great Black Hope, you know what I mean? So and it didn't work. So, like I say...
but nobody worked that day.
No, Joe, that's not my point. My point basically is he was under a lot of expectancy that day. It's not working so far. We've all got mates who write people off straight away. We've all got them. I seem to have a plethora of them. I mean,
but somebody always gets it when things aren't going well, though. I mean,
I'll be honest with you. He showed us nothing up to now.
That is true.
Arnie Engels, first couple of games was outstanding, and at least he was chipping in with penalties. And I still think the boy's a player, but you can see it. He knows the game, but for whatever reason, he's just not producing it. But he showed us nothing so far. I'm definitely not writing him off, and I get it's a difficult transition moving to a different country, etc. So we'll wait and see what happens. But he's got to step up.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Currently, you'd have anybody else in that position bar him.
But here's the thing: we've spent money for him, so he's going to get crucified. So no matter what, so unless he comes out and really fucking
well, that can't
hammer
help
the
either.
food
Like, in real life, you've done fuck all. People are
No, well,
questioning you.
look what
You're
happened.
walking the streets. I mean,
No, look what happened to Aramita. That's what's going to happen to Balakwisha. People are just going to say, fuck him. He cost a fortune. He's made no impact. Get him the fuck, and he'll be let go again in a year's time or so.
See the amount of 5 million players that we've fucking squandered money on.
Yep.
See that window of the 4 to 5.5 million.
You hate that, don't you, Jason? I mean, you've got Celtic wasting 5 million on players, and you've got fucking Everton every time they signed a £50 million player. He's rotten, I know.
They've got 2 forwards that are combined 60 million. I think the 2 of them won a fucking raffle. They start playing football. Fucking useless.
They get 8 million for that boy. They get 8 million for the hunch for that boy, though.
Did you see they've employed his son now as their chief scout?
Oh, magic.
They got some reverse, for fuck's sake.
Oh, but fucking hell, that Beto, man. They signed him for Udinese for like 28 million. Unbelievable. Then Udinese signed Lennon Miller for 4 million. They must be.
God, I'm telling Marty about talking about Braga now. I've fucking led you into Everton. Shut up about Everton.
Oh, jeez. But at the end of the day, Balak he's got to give us more.
Go to improve, Jabo. No 2 ways about it. I mean,
watch this space. But as I say, we've not really went into any great detail about Donovan, but fucking hell. I'll be honest. I'd be happy to keep him in the team when Johnson's fit.
Sweet. 100. I'm with you.
He's
Kobe
been outstanding.
Great shout, mate.
He's been outstanding. Proper outstanding.
He's you can see the young man flaws in him, right? Of course. I mean, you can see sometimes he can get dragged about a wee bit, but I think he's improved since I first seen him. He's improved already. This is it. That's the future of Celtic. I mean, I've always thought that Alistair Johnson wouldn't have been. I'm really surprised Alistair Johnson's still at Celtic. You know what I mean? I thought he'd have been one because with the toughness of him and the way he plays, he's set for England, isn't he? The way he plays the new, do you know what I mean? But I'm obviously not chasing him out the door. But there's enough games in this season to allow Kobe Donovan to play alongside him. And if the rumours are true that Tony Ralston is wanting to be leaving the club, we pat him in the back. We hope he goes and rocks it wherever he goes. But at least we're in a better situation. Do you know what I mean? Because
I've never heard that. Is that the rumour?
That's the rumour.
Well,
maybe I just started the rumour, but I like the rumour, so we're going with the rumour. Okay.
I started a rumour.
And see, it'd be interesting to find out, like, see when he was playing in the B team or whatever level he was playing at Donovan, whether he was a standout or whether it's just, because I don't think Tierney, seemingly, I didn't really watch him, like, with the reserves and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't think, from what I read, he wasn't a massive standout, and he didn't think like he would have been the player that he was, and then he just gets the chance and you grasp it. And I think loads of these kids, if you give them the chance, I mean, they're Dane Murray. Dane Murray done brilliant pre-season, and he's kind of not getting a look in again. He's on the bench all the time. He's not really getting much of a look in.
Jason, what about McArdle? I mean, see, right, the thing that's killing us now is that Bernardo's not really taking his chances when it's there. Hatate's stinking the place out. McGregor looks like he's struggling a bit. Arnie Engels isn't really taking his chance. And Negrin's kind of still trying to find his niche in the team. You take away one of the guys out of the squad, McArdle's McCowan as well, but McArdle should be in about that for a start. But we've got to get the midfield going, so there is no space to try McArdle. Right. But we have to play Donovan, and it's great because you can. But I agree with you. I've heard all these stories. See when Tierney's done, I would love to, or even if I ever get a chance to sit down and talk to him, I would like to ask him in his own words, how did it happen? How did it? Because half the stories I heard,
it was just luck. It was just luck.
he was getting released. It was you know what I mean? And so I'm not. Hopefully, I can get it out. But Jimmy, fucking hell, man. Jimmy McInally, sorry, a big spider come down there. Jimmy McInally was telling me, he was telling me how he moved for the defence into midfield. And Jason, I'm really praying I can get it out, because it's to put some context on it, right? So Jimmy wouldn't be the most technical guy, so he turned up with an iPad, and straight away I was getting refurb off him, and I was like, so usually this is human error here. Usually you can record these. See what we're doing now? Usually you can record them, but you can record them in separate. So like, see your voice comes in recording, my voice comes in recording. So I thought I'd click that so I could just tidy up one. Do you know what I mean? But it didn't. It all came as one. So I had to. It's a bit of a nightmare, but it's excellent. But again, for him going from fullback to midfield, it's a great story, and it's just down to luck. Absolute down to luck. You know what I mean? And he ended up a Dundee United legend in centre midfield. It's quite a thing. But back to your point in hand, Colby Donovan, yes, I encourage this. I encourage this message. Well done, him.
Before we finish in Hibs, I think we've got to talk about Sriracha as well.
Big hot sauce. Let's go.
Aye, looks good.
Shirasi sizzled.
Aye.
Right, really no more fucking hot sauce.
Big hot sauce. I give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Big hot sauce.
I think he looks really good.
Yeah, he looks really good. I can cross the ball too.
Aye. It was him that put the one in right across the face of the goal, wasn't it?
Just full of energy, tough, good in the tackle. Just one of those guys you're like, yep, you'll do. Reliable.
Jason, I don't want to keep kicking while the Ducks did, but
Borussia Dortmund 2-0.
He looks a fantastic player in comparison to Bernabeu.
And again, like, you don't need all your team to be firing on all cylinders, but you do need like the basis of a team. So the more of those players who are just coming in, who are getting better, getting to know players, getting to know fucking the grounds, whatever else, you really hope that they'll push on, and make an impact. But definitely Ternetke. And by the way, the other thing you haven't mentioned, don't even know why you listen to it, but see last week on the fucking radio, Packy Bonner was on the radio, and he was trying to fucking pronounce Ternetke's fucking name. Jesus Christ of all.
Ternetke, I heard a few times.
Ternetke.
Aye.
Tuskegee. Like, you think somebody would have fucking took him off the microphone?
Tallahassee. Fucking. I've heard a few fuck ups.
Absolutely fucking butchered it. So he did butcher it. But again,
Tchaikovsky,
what you'd want is to lift the one you want to lift is Balikwisha. Right? You want him to have a couple of good games here because people will get off his back. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if Ternetke and fucking Sriracha and players like that are coming in really making a difference, great. That's what they're here for. That's what you bought them for, to bring that energy, to bring new ideas, bit of gale, whatever the fuck. Happy days. So the only outlier then is Balikwisha, and you're hoping he gets enough time. The problem for him is he probably won't get enough time now because he hasn't really made an impact when he's been brought on. And he looks quite slate. There doesn't look like there's much fucking to him. And that can count against you in Scotland too, against the cloggers. So, look, fingers crossed over the next 2 weeks, we're going to see what matters in the team,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Marty Flynn, voice of reason.
Get in, athletic club 2-1 now. Get in.
Flicking between all the matches here, fucking hell.
Fuck that.
Right, what's the chat?
Right, well then, protests. Are we talking protests or no?
Let's talk protest. Right, obviously I can't go body the new. Right, frustratingly, I can't go really into it massively. Right, so put some context in it again. I think the general listeners know I'm on the steering group. It was decided after the initial protests of the late walk-in because the original proposals were late walk-ins and early leaving, and somebody says at the meeting, remember, you can't lose a game in the first 15 minutes, but you can lose it in the last 15 minutes. And there was at pain, people were at pains to stress, but this is for the good of the team. We want to back the team and stuff like that, because there was a lot of people against the going in late protest, and that was, like I said, it was all kind of appreciative. Yep, people have all got different views. And then we had the one at Partick Thstle, which I think looked fantastic, but ultimately all you're doing is just holding stuff up. And if you've got a really funny text message that you send around your whole wee directors group, then you don't even need to look at it, seemingly. So that went and that happened. And then we decided that a silent protest would be good to go. It was passed by the collective, and we went with it. To say there was a fair bit of grumbling about it would be fair. Even those within the group, there would be people who weren't really into it, but we're a collective, so it got the support of the group. And it went ahead, and I didn't think it was a particularly bad protest, because I felt it kept the protest relevant. It kept it on people's minds. It kept people talking about it. I remember when it finished, Taneki thought he had a corner and went over, and this is just after the GB had started singing like fuck. And he went on, and you could see him himself. He's noticed it. Jason, did you know what I'm talking about? Where he was waving, now he's doing the big horns, this thing.
Aye.
So obviously, I mean, and Luke McCowan spoke about it. So, but, right, and I'm going to watch my mouth here, because I did find it hugely frustrating, right? I've told you guys all the years I don't sing, right? Nobody really sings in our corner. We used to be boys behind us, and we joined in then, but nobody really actively starts songs. We'll join in if the huddle's going round or if it's everybody. But in general, people do not sing. So obviously I'm involved. I support it, and it finished. The 12 minutes finished, and I've started clapping, and nothing around us. And it was the boys, and I dare say a lot of people tried maybe, but there was nothing, and it was so frustrating. And then to come back, now, say silent protest, if you don't sing anyway, fair dues, and I get exactly, that's it, I agree with that.
That's what I was thinking too.
But see what we're doing isn't really about the actions. It's about why we're doing it and trying to prove to them that we are united. Never in my life since the world has changed so much since sets were changed and stuff like that. And at this point, we've no felt the Celtic support this united. And I'll be honest, I was really disheartened by some of the responses on forums, on the internet, speaking to me direct. I was disappointed about it, especially, right? I'll tell you what one side of that annoyed me was these people thought it was wrong, but they still didn't have the gumption to sit there and start a song during it. They just sat there in silence. And then, so they never supported anybody. They talk about, I don't want to affect the team, but they never supported the team either.
Scott,
So,
can you check, just before you go any further, can you check the group chat there, because there's something you want to read out?
Right. Is it live, mate?
Yep. Jason's just looking in there for you, so you might want to read that out.
Right. Okay. Right. So I'll get to that in a second, because I dare say everybody's seen it stuff. But basically, so there was calls to bin the silent protest, which was going to. So I think we need to clarify for people We done the 12th minute, got in late against Kilmarnock, and we done 12th minute on against Hibs on Saturday there because we're the 12th man. We can never forget what we are. We're the 12th man. But we're going to accelerate the protest to Thursday, and we were going to make it 29 because it was 29 days since they never responded to our initial contact looking for the 7 things to be answered. And then we were going to accelerate again to obviously how many days it was on Sunday against Motherwell. Right. So we got a lot of bite back. I know the huddle board is somewhat of an echo chamber, so maybe, but generally we use that. So it's and there was even in the subgroups, there's people kind of who were against it. Even in the group itself, there was people against it, and there was questions coming out and stuff like that. But what you've got to understand, see this collective we've got. This isn't a big bunch of people sitting in a room all going, yes, 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 harumph, yes, yes, yes. This is people legitimately arguing with each other about the best way to go ahead. I've saw people question why people are involved in this. If you have any trust in me as a person, if you've listened to me, the people in that room, every one of them are wanting the best for your club.
Yep.
And anything we choose today is for the benefit of Celtic. There's no comfy seats to be had here. There's no fucking end of season jolly. This is people who just want the best for your club. And our club have, let's be honest with it, been run like an absolute fucking cartel business for all 10 years now. I dare say the guy who owns your club went into it with the best intentions, but we're now a shambles in so many ways that affect us. I mean, it's all very good though, the aim of the money in the bank and stuff like that, but fucking it's our money and we want to invest it. But again, I'm going to have topics. So there was push from within the group, there was push from outside the group to end the silences. Again, democratic vote, we kept on. We decided it needs to stick, and then we'll deal with the repercussions at the end. And one of the biggest push for the whole committee or the whole steering group is how do we engage with our fellow supporter? See the guys who have just shut their minds to it, how do we open their minds up again? So we're talking about this. We're literally, this is a massive discussion. There's nobody sitting there going, fuck them. They're literally sitting there every day. These guys, every one of us have got jobs, and we're all sitting there and we're talking about how do we bring everybody in together? How do we make this about their club? How do we make this about them? And people really need to trust. They need to trust. There needs to be, I know people might get their backs up with certain names. I swear to God, they guys love our club. They people love it and they just want the best. So I'd say about quarter to 5 today. We're all ready for the silence. We're ready for the bite back that's going to come to us. Joe, me and you had actually the chat. We were going to do a wee pod tonight to try and bring people on. I mean, Joe, you guys, you know me. I mean, if I'm telling you these people are trustworthy, I would like to think you guys believe me. Do you know what I mean?
No, listen, there's absolutely there's no argument with that whatsoever. Here's the thing. So I had these arguments as well with people who I really respect as well. From Belfast over the last couple of days, it's got hot and heavy, not in an abusive way, but people just digging their heels and standing their ground. One of whom told me, who I really, really like, top man, he says to me after coming home from the match on the Hibs match on the boat, he says, I've never seen the fans so split in my whole life. And this man's in his 60s, and I was going, with respect, that is utter bollocks. 400 fucking Celtic supporters clubs signed up to that approach. Every fan media group, most of them I'd never heard of, and I genuinely mean that. I'm not being ignorant or trying to run any of them down. There was loads of the fan media ones I'd never even heard of. They all signed up, plus every representative group of Celtic fans that exist. How could you be saying that that we are more split than we've ever been. It's simply not true. No facts weigh that out. Yes, there are people who don't want to participate for whatever reason or have strong views either way or whatever with tactics, maybe not with strategy, but don't like the tactics. Absolutely fine. But at no point in my life have I ever seen a more united front from the fans. It's just not true. You know, and I mean, I said to Jason earlier on, I think it was Jason or whoever was talking to earlier on, I said, see the people who are griping and whinging and whining, they should just be ignored because they're just sucking energy away from the task at hand. And I'm telling you now, knowing some of the people who are on that steering committee, they will not be deflected by that type of activity from the task at hand. They will be zeroed in on what they want and what they think we need. They may well be wrong. The whole thing may collapse under the weight of itself. Who knows? But I'll tell you now that they will be as committed as ever as to trying to get the best deal for us as fans.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm actually glad to see that there is such a broad steering group because there's loads of people on there that I don't know. You know, so
Mate,
it's good to see the talent and the attitude and whatever else, you know.
There's people on that, and I know from listening to them on whatever their channels and stuff, who were sceptical about the whole thing and sceptical
Yeah.
the people within. And I would like to think that even they have been impressed with the people involved.
Yeah.
We've often spoke up about the ultra. Jason would know a hell of a lot of them more personally than us, and they often get put down. They get labelled, and they just want the best for their club. They might be a wee bit more heavy-handed sometimes than me or you, whatever. But these guys love their club, and they're not silly wee guys, and they're trying their best to do things for all us. They want all us together. The ultimate goal is Celtic have had their way for far too long, and it's allowed. Marty, you shared the thing. I'd shared. So your man Steve will come from the Celtic World Order, and he done a video. Axom shared it today. He done a small video, and then done the larger one that he put up. And we were all giving him feedback, and he said he was going to do it. And true to his word, Steve, he went and done it. And by the way, a cracking pair of gutties he was wearing. But aside from that, it was great. And now it's encouraging fan media and everybody out there to go and evaluate Celtic Park. Stuff that we've been talking about for how long? Jason, how long have we been talking about Celtic Park being a midden? You know what I mean?
I know.
And now the rest of everybody's kind of going, aye, let's get that and we'll all come together. We're all coming together at the right time. And for the people who don't believe, for the people who don't trust, go and look at one party that you agree with and cling on to that. Be a supporter, because this isn't done to get your backs up. This isn't done in anybody's self-interest. This is a collective. The collective word, as you said, Marty, it might all fall apart. I think what's coming up is going to be mega. It's as tough today as it was last week and as it was the week before and as it is going to be next week. Getting anywhere near what we're looking for is going to be a huge monumental task, but we've taken a step. So, as you right, so the news is out there now. So Celtic replied to the original request for a meeting. Now, you need to bear in mind the original request was done by the majority of the supporter groups, be that the association, be that the Irish Association, be that the affiliation, the Celtic Trust, the GB, the boys, the disabled. Everybody who put a no confidence vote out there, they were replied to. And that's what we asked for. Now, ironically, the discussions we were having today was, should we address them as a collective? Thus. So they never replied to the collective. A lot of people see this as a maybe divide and conquer thing. We've kind of had assurances that that's not the intent. It might well be. Like I say, a lot of the people who influence or own the steering committee have previous experience and you can understand why they would be more sceptical than the rest is. But anyway, Celtic reached out. They want to have a meeting on Monday, and all the groups have been chatting away to each other, and they're all going to accept the meeting to go up to Celtic Park and engage with Celtic, thus meaning that from this moment, all protests will be postponed. You guys have just kind of directed me to it. I'm going to be reading this out, but I'm dare say everybody's. So this is from the Celtic Fans Collective. This evening, Celtic fan organisations received an invitation from Celtic FC to attend a meeting with the club on Monday the 6th of October to discuss ongoing concerns about the running of the club. In conjunction with the Celtic Fans Collective, supporter organisations have accepted this invitation. Celtic FC representatives will include Michael Nicholson, Chris Mackay. We welcome the club's decision to meet and engage directly on the issues raised. However, we remain under no illusions about the scale of change still required at board level. As a result of this development, the planned continuation of the 3-match silence has been postponed in good faith, in the hope and expectation that supporters will now receive full and honest communication from the club. We thank every supporter who has stood beside this campaign and helped bring the Celtic board to the table. Without this unity, it would not have been possible. It highlights the strength and influence of a united Celtic support. The Celtic Fans Collective will continue its campaign irrespective of the outcome of this meeting, with the clear aim of securing meaningful, positive change for the betterment of Celtic Football Club and its supporters. So there you go, a very well scripted out message to supporters.
The power of collective purpose.
I'm fully behind it. So I'll probably bastardise this, Marty, but you remember we used to say it. Near go curly hela.
Near go curly hela. Without unity, there is no strength.
So let's be honest about it, guys. This is a tough gig we've chosen to support, get involved with, look on, whatever. And the group have came together, and this has happened as a result of the group and the support in general. So that's fantastic. Fantastic. I think we take it as a win. We are under no illusions that this doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things, but it's a start. So, well done to them. Well done to them.
Here's the fucking news, right? Things cannot go on the way they've been going on. They just cannot go on the way things have been. And like one of you said earlier on, we patting ourselves on the back for our domestic stuff, and then looking at the fucking shambles around us, it's just not good enough. It just is not good enough. And like the way that the club communicates is it's as bad as the old board. For all the social media channels and all the technology they have available to them, it's as bad as the old board. It's as bad as I remember when I was a
the old
kid.
board with a few quid in the bank.
That's hard feels, isn't it? And like I think Joe mentioned it last week. That skit from what do you call him?
Yeah.
Jonathan Watson. You know, geez money, go away. That is exactly how it comes across. And see, if you wanted to be charitable, right? If you, which we all do, like we want things to be good. We don't want things to be fucking bad. We don't have to go back to the 80s here. If you wanted to be charitable and you took that statement that the club put out on the fucking Saturday night, one way of looking at it is that it was arrogant and tone deaf, which is fine because that's how I felt about it. But if you wanted to be charitable, what you could actually say is, look, you're shit at communicating. We understand this. That's an example of it. But you try to go lane by lane and explain your position, right? You tried to explain everything that had been put to you. It fell on its face, but you could nearly give them credit for it in a way. Do you know what I mean? And go, look, this is our starting point now. This statement that you put out is our starting point, and we'll take that away. And this, I think Scott made a mention there in case he didn't. There's subgroups that have been set up as part of the steering group, which again has brought on extra people, more hands, more heads, and more feet. And then they can take parts of the statement and say, right, you go away and look at that bit and see what can be done. And you go away and look at this bit and see what can be fucking done. And it's up to the club then to engage in a positive way and say, do you know what? We're going to stop treating you the way the old fucking board treated you. Because that is exactly where we are. It's like the old board saying, we don't want any fucking season ticket holders. They just make trouble. You know, tough shit. We're your customers. And you should be fucking coming to us and engaging with us and using this our methods of explanation, and to stop hiding behind, you know, the excuses that have been made for the past for not doing it, and stop saying you've got a fucking you've got a fans liaison officer. What's your problems? You've got a social media department. What's your problems? You know, the communication has to be two-way if you're claiming to be a club like no other. And that's what fucking sets me off mental. If we're a club like no other, we should be behaving the way no other club does. And that should include ultimately fan control of our club. It might be 50 years away, maybe 100 years away, or whatever. That would be my goal. I would like to see the Celtic in the hands of the people who support it. And there are lots of examples around the world where that is the case, where you could follow a pathway to that. In the exactly, not that fucking far away, Jason. Not that fucking far away. And I understand Celtic as a global brand, but we, on too many occasions, we don't behave like one. We do not behave like one. And like I'm arguing with people about the suitability of our current chief executive, and nobody's picking on this guy because they don't like him. I've never fucking met him. I've never been in the same room. Exactly. He's a hot like, and I'm trying to be positive here. I'm not trying to run the man down, but I'm looking going, you're a fucking you're a lawyer. You've been, like, someone said that to me as a strength. They said to me, that man has been involved in every single deal Celtic have done for the last decade. He's been in the room. To which I replied, he's supposed to be in the fucking room. He's pulling out the same contract at every fucking meeting and changing the bits of the details for every fucking player. Do you know what I mean? That's his job. That's his job. He's the corporate lawyer, so he's supposed to be there. What the fuck qualifies that man then to be a marketeer, a communicator, a business development analyst, a customer relationship manager? Fuck all. Nothing. You know, he's the club's lawyer. And the way that statement that was issued on the Saturday night was written like it was written by a fucking lawyer. Do you understand? And it's like things need to change. We cannot be this standstill thing that just stays still and wins the league and sometimes loses to the Huns, you know, and draws against Hibs, and you know maybe gets into the Champions League one year, but she'll be out for the next fucking three until the next manager comes along, and then we'll give him loads of money, and then the next manager fucking be pissed off at us, and then he leaves, and rinse and repeat. Where is the long-term corporate planning for Celtic? It doesn't fucking exist, because see if it existed, we'd all know about it. They would fucking tell us. And so that's my hope, is that this is actually day one, and that they do engage in good faith and see shit like fucking policing and stuff like that they actually start to listen to the state of our fans. Like I was thinking about it the other week, right? See when we used to travel over, like say you were going to a European match, and the fucking cunts knew if this, like if there was somebody on the bus, they'd haul somebody off the bus at at uh, at Stranraer and held the bus back. They used to do it just for badness, right? So that in the hope that you would miss the match. It was like a Scottish refereeing performance. No, it was like low grade bullshit, right? Nobody was getting fucking carted away anywhere, but they just done it for fucking badness to hold you back. And I remember people saying it on the bus, like the fucking club needs to do something about this. We were going to report this to Celtic Park, and everybody would go, "I fucking right, fucking right, fucking right," you know, thinking that Celtic would be on our side. Now I look back and go, I'm sure Celtic couldn't have give two fucks what was happening to us at Stranraer. Why would they fucking care? Why? Why would they give a fuck? Like when you look back now, do you know? And that's all we ever wanted was for people to engage with us the way we would wanted to engage with them. To look out for us, to treat us right, if we're being mistreated, which we fucking are on a constant basis, the fact that the club had to bring in outside consultants to do a fucking scoping exercise on police activity before a fucking match. Jesus Christ, what the fuck other club in the world has had to do that? Had to be pressurised into doing that. They didn't do it willingly. Because they take the fucking cops' word as gospel. They've tried to employ cops who have fucking demonised and terrorised our fans, booting in people's fucking, doors at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning and carting them off, and then they're trying to give them jobs. Like, this is the fucking level of nonsense that you're actually trying to compute here. And all we want is to be respected. Like, nobody's getting into Rex Celtic Park. We're not breaking seats. We're not burning anything. Some wee dicks went up with graffiti stuff around the fucking ground. It was pointed out. It was done away. It was cleared up in a couple of minutes. In fact, if they'd have fucking spent more time, as your man from Celtic Order fucking showed, actually cleaning the fucking ground, it shows that they can do it as quick as they fucking want when they're the focus.
And see the part of that statement that they made. They made it perfectly clear that they've got nothing whatsoever to do with policing outside Celtic Park. Well, it's about time you fucking did have something to do with it. It's about time you'd fucking people employed with the club to out there and monitor what the fucking police are doing to your fans, making their way into that ground.
And here's an easy way of doing it, Jason. Take a court case. Take one court case. One child who was denied the opportunity to go to the toilet in the middle of that kettle. Fund that family and say, take a case to court. And that'll put a fucking stop to it. But they're afraid of the cops. They won't stand up to them. In fact, they've tried to employ them. In my opinion, that was like to keep the cops close. That doesn't fucking work. These people don't give a fuck about us, and in many cases are completely hostile to us. So something else needs to be done. Right. I'm away for a slice. Talk among yourselves.
Yeah. So in the back of that statement, that's good, and it's good that we've got a bit of a resolution before the game tomorrow night, which is obviously going to help the team, we hope. So it's good for everybody. So let's hope on the 6th of October there is some positivity post the meeting. And without a doubt. I mean, it's getting to the stage now that see Celtic, there's got to be more transparency, and we need to actually know what these guys have been measured on. And you've got all these non-executive directors that have been there for 20 and 30 years. And that podcast you put me on to, Scott, the RGC one, the guy explains it. And fucking him, I mean, we all knew it, but see when he explained it in layman's terms, it just jumps out at you and you say, any forward-thinking company would have non-executive directors at a maximum of 9 years, because that's when obviously they've got interest and they can bring things to the table and stuff like that. But after 9 years, the world's moved on, so you need to replenish them. We've got guys that's been sitting there for fucking 30 years. Unbelievable. Absolute fucking criminal.
But the power of kind of collective purpose in all of this is very evident. And again, you've spoken, Scott, about people who kind of aren't on side and kind of are whinging and moaning hurting from the ditch. The only way to change the tone of those people is to be consistent. I mean, because there is an overall purpose to this, and is that we want to see the club be changed at a higher level so that things progress in a way that we think they can and should progress based on the money we're all putting in. Right? And I think that's a really, really, fine and noble way to be and progress. But the collective effort overall that we're now involved in feels kind of very unique and something a bit different about it.
Let's hope so. I mean,
it's never really happened with us, because I mean ultimately success we've had that, and it's great. I think that this has come about. Obviously, it's come about because of a certain thing happened. Right? I like to describe it as like death by 1,000 cuts. The wee cut here, the wee cut there, and they saw how easy it was for the Celtic fans to get pissed off during the COVID year. And remember the Huns all laughing at us and all that. Oh, they're trying to break down fences. Oh, my God, they go half a season without winning. Oh, but it was a great combination of everything. And it's came again. And this time it's led to something else. It's led to something bigger. It's led to something better. Let's just hope we keep it going, because people will lose interest. But as long as you've got the right people still pushing. I mean, this time the Trust have always been pushing. FAC had their point. The GB, the boys, they've had their own interests and stuff like that. But we've pulled on and McGirra. And it's not going to be easy. There'll be people out there kind of going, oh, I like the White Wiz. I want to keep that. And I don't know. It's interesting. It seems to be something, and I hope it is something. And as you say, Joe, if we're poking fingers at the right place. Jason touched on it with the RGC podcast. What a refreshing view they guys have come in. They've come in with expertise. They're no clowns. Do you know what I mean? And it's been great, the education they've been putting to us. I think that's been excellent. So
I think one of the main catalysts though is how we feel we've been treated more than the situation. I mean, the situation has been shit in terms of like we feel we haven't been built upon the way we should be built upon in terms of like the investment and the money we have. But I think the overall catalyst is the treatment of protestation. This kind of sort of swatting aside. I think that means more than anything.
See, to be honest with you, do you know what I think is the straw that's broke the camel's back? It's the ticket sales for tomorrow night.
Think so?
Could well be.
I reckon that's the reason they're going to get folk round the table. Because there'll be 20,000 seats empty there tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's and I hope it's not, Jason. I swear to God, I hope it's not. I hope it's more
so.
positive than that.
I'm very, very cynical with them. And I think when you hit them in the pocket, that's when they'll turn around and speak to you.
Yeah. It's sad to come down to that position, but you could well be right. I hope you're wrong, genuinely.
See the thing is, see if tomorrow was a sellout, right? They would probably look for because they're not getting financially hurt. 20,000 seats at average about 50 quid a ticket. A lot of money.
It's mad when you say it out loudly. Fucking hell.
Right?
£50 a ticket. Fuck me.
When you think about it, I mean, at a rough guesstimate, there probably will be 20,000 empty seats tomorrow night at 50 quid a ticket.
In many ways, it's kind of an indictment of who you're bringing to the table with that action.
Yeah, it's just as I say, you could well be right. I hope you're wrong.
That's £1 million.
Yeah, that's over four games, Jason. That's £4 million. So I'd pay for a ballot quiz or something.
Yep.
If you look at it that way.
Pardon me. I know, but like, do we have to take £1 million out of their pocket to make them take us seriously?
But this is the point.
Treat us like fucking human beings.
This is it. You know, like you look at the Ronnie Taylor year, the place was fucking empty, and the board responded by bringing in Brendan Rodgers, and 20 or 30,000, whatever the numbers were, turned up to see him being unveiled in the fucking stadium on a Monday afternoon or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So the point is when they back the club, we back them. But the year before told the tale where people were going, do you know what? Fuck yous. And they were forced into bringing in somebody like Rodgers to actually make the big splash.
The big Dela flag. That's what I remember. The big Dela flag.
Exactly. The seats of shame were covered up. And that's basically where we're back to. You know, the season ticket money was taken and, was the renewals went in April. The money started coming out during the summer. People kept the faith all summer thinking, oh, no, it'll be next week. Here's the fucking here's the deadline coming. We'll get them in this weekend. You know, and we brought in again a load of prospects, 7 or 8 players who none of them really looked as if they were fit to blast their way into any sort of European campaign. And one came in after the deadline, and he looks to be the best. He's the one we've brought in at the end of the whole lot. The free agent seems to be the one that has the most experience and ability. So it's again, Jason's right. It's a massive financial hit for the club over the course of the 4 games at a time when they're going to be getting reduced income anyway because we didn't make it into the Champions League. And they can try and blame the manager, which I'm sure privately they're probably doing. You know, oh, we gave him all that money last year. We broke the transfer record twice. Blah blah blah. You know, but the bottom line is this is repeat behaviour. We've seen this for the last decade. It's nothing new. What do you say, Scott, earlier? 6 managers, all with broadly the same complaints.
We need a break
Something's
in the
wrong.
old routine. We need a break in the old routine, baby.
What do you mean, Joe? What do you mean?
What do you mean we need a break from the old routine?
You know, so fingers crossed this is a genuine start, and things might need to go quiet for a while, and I have no problem with that because the people who are, as Scott says, trying to advocate for me, I trust completely. And I'm really glad to see that there's other people who have came on board too with new expertise, new faces, people who I don't know. I'm glad to see them as well. So there's a bit of extra energy about the place. And if they need to go underground for a while and engage with the club away from the glare of the media and crying, yapping fucking fans on our side too, that's perfectly fine by me. Let's get a timetable. We've got an AGM coming up in a month. Let's work out communication plans or whatever between them and the club and take it from there. But I genuinely hope the club are going to be gracious and like nobody's asked them to come out and fucking nobody's asked them to come out and flog themselves on the steps of Celtic Park. It's like, look, all right, things haven't been going so well. Let's have a yarn. Let's have a talk all together. And what are your demands? That one's actually, we can do that one tomorrow. Let's just do that one. Here's another one that's going to take 3 months, but we'll do it. These other ones, don't know. We have our own views, or that might be fucking hard to do, or whatever. And I think that was why it was so important to get those kind of core questions out very quickly and keep them simple. Because there's tons of stuff we could be doing all around the ground, as you can see. Fucking posters still up at the back of the ground from the treble year. Fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? My fucking wee lad couldn't ride a bike when them posters went up. You know? So it's like,
I know, but
let's.
it's all, in my mind, it's all down to treatment. How do they treat the people who turn up?
It's not Joe.
It's
Joe.
not,
It's not. It's more broad than that. This is the whole point that I've been knocking on about. Like, and I posed the question a couple of weeks ago. When do we reckon the last time anybody on that board spent any length of time in any other part of the ground apart from the main stand? And we were all kind of in agreement. Probably never. They might go into the number 7 once in a while. They might go into the Carrydale Suite once in a while. Apart from that, they're not washing their fucking hands in the cool water in the North Stand ever in the top tier. Like they're just not there. Comfortably, we predicted none of them have been over there in fucking years, if at all. And so there has to be a way of saying to fans, what's the crack here? What needs done? We're sitting on a fortune. So £1 million could probably fix all these small things like Scott's fucking juice machine. Like £1 million. Let's take out of that 77 million, set that aside
right.
and do shit.
That's a business idea for the concourse. Scott's fucking juice machine sounds like a fucking winner to me.
But here's the thing, Joe. It is customer service. Celtic Park is like a fucking. It's an island in the middle of a fucking sea. Like it's not like other football grounds where you have loads of services around you. You do have some, but you don't have. You know, it's not like it's in a concourse where there's millions of other options around the ground.
It's a place you arrive to and you leave from.
Exactly, it's not it's a destination where you go to see something, but you don't go to stay there. And the club have done some good things, and I always say too, we have a reputation of being very hardcore and all that, but we definitely give credit when it's due. For example, when they opened the sports bar, when they started opening the concourses properly, because as we were pointing out, you're coming from fucking Ireland, there's nowhere even to let your child take a fucking piss when they get out of out of the bus. And when you tried to even like days we tried to get into the Carradale suite and it was packed by the time we got there. You know, so you had nowhere to go. You're standing in the fucking rain, freezing cold with children with nowhere to go. So you're standing in the fucking, you know, you're standing in the superstore and then you're causing problems in the superstore because people can't go around the superstore to buy things. Like, it's just fucking mental. You're looking to go do something about this. So when they were starting to open up the concourses early and letting people in, and, you know, that's a good idea. And we give them credit for it. Let's do more of it. Let's expand it. You know, because people will still shrug their shoulders and go, "Oh, I'm not going up there because there's fuck all to do." Put stuff in to do for kids. Like I had my wee girl in the Carradale Street one day. It was brilliant. She was sitting on the edge of the stage, kicking her heels, playing with her two Hoopy dolls, Hoopy and Haley, and McGrandles were singing and the thing. It was warm. She got a feed. Like, it's not much to fucking ask. I was standing with a pint. It's not much to ask. Surely to Jesus. You know, but then again, when the high rollers came back in, that was whipped away from the fans again. So, no, I just fucking go back out in the cooler, lads. Ronnie Dale is not the manager now.
Harper turned up, didn't he?
Give Marty Flair a pint. Celtic, give Marty Flair a pint.
And here, like, I've been in the number, me and Scott have done the number 7 multiple times. It's fucking great. I am not arguing that type of like day experience shouldn't be catered for. It fucking should. And I am very happy when I have the money to put myself into that position. Same with fucking Jason Higgins, who puts 5 fortunes into that club annually for the wee bit of heaven that he gets with his padded fucking seat and his paint. The man doesn't demand much. Jesus Christ, it's not much to fucking ask, but he pays through the fucking nose for it because it's his thing, it's our thing. You know, it's our thing. So, as I say, I'm very hopeful. I hope that everybody is getting into this with fresh eyes. Scott said earlier on, you can't change what happened in the fucking summertime. And we're not privy to the business deals and the way players behave and their tantrums and their fucking moves that they want and all that. So that's not our domain. But here's all the other fucking shit that is our domain, and here's all our ideas to get it done. And don't come and tell us why you can't do it. Let's look at what we can do and take it from there. So look, fingers crossed. God bless. God bless everybody. I have to go. So I'll leave you, Jerry.
I got to go.
I'll leave you, Jerry Mendelman, to it, okay?
Well done, Flannels. I'll speak to you
well
soon. I think
done.
we're there anyway.
We're
God.
close to finished.
God bless, Childer. You just have to do your Braga preview. I'm going to be listening. So get into that.
Scott's got that. Scott,
Yes.
Braga. What do we know? What do we know, Scott? Tell us.
Mate, honestly, see, because I've not done my one-on-ones, I'm clueless about everybody. And I always enjoyed doing them because it educated me, and then anybody else who wanted to get educated alongside me. But I've done nothing about them. I know the manager's under a bit of pressure. However, in a very, very poor game of football, they beat Feyenoord 1-0 in the last round. So they can't be discounted. I'm led to believe they play 5 at the back, 2 attacking wing backs aside of that. And they're pretty handy up top. Their defence has got Lagerbielke in it. The frustrating thing for us is he any good? You know what I mean? Neither of us know if he's any good or no.
We kind of maybe half know if he was any good.
He scored the goal against Feyenoord for us. That's it. That's all we know.
But I like every time he plays.
He's one of them players. Like, I rate him alongside Thomas Rogner. Right? I always loved Thomas Rogner, but I couldn't tell you if he could play football. You know what I mean? He was decent for what he did. Other than that, couldn't tell you. So was Lagerbielke.
They're sitting 7th in the league now. They've won 2 games, they've drew 3, they've lost 2. Our manager, by all accounts, Carlos Vicens, is under pressure, and they're saying should the next 2 games go against him, then it could be curtains for him. I don't know. I just going by logic of looking where they are. They're in this competition. They're no in the Champions League as they have done recent years. Then we're at home. We've got a chance. We've got a good. I don't see them coming to Celtic Park and playing for a draw. So fuck it. Let's go and beat them.
What's the story with the early kickoff? It's fucking kind of a bit of a ball like guy.
It's because there's so many games, Joe. They just try to split it up. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, do you know what I'm kind of hoping for, right? And I know I'm fucking pissing into the wind here, but I'm hoping that the wee bit of disturbance over the last couple of weeks will kick us all into form, and everybody turns up. Hopefully, everybody gets wired into the baby, and we all turn up. And
I think that'll be hard. Most folk are just finishing work.
well, mate,
half day fucking Central. Let's go.
They supply Jason, they've got medicine for that, and they supply it in bottles and half bottles, I'm led to believe. Even get it in cans nowadays.
Well, unfortunately, I'll not even be there.
You'd still do the protest, you're out.
I never took my tickets. Killed me, but nah, I'm not doing it.
Scandalous.
Good man. Do you mind? I've never seen so many emails and from Celtic about bad tickets. Got an email saying we've extended the deadline. I was like, couldn't give a fuck.
Do you know what?
You have to look into your soul in it. Come on, you. Come on, you.
Hey, you. Come on. Get that card out, you cunt. Let's go.
Sent us 2 emails to tell us the deadline was coming. For me and Elliot, it was 720 quid for the 4 games. And I then get back at the second email. I says, listen, I'm not taking them. I says, this is my small protest against the board. Okay, no problem at all. Then I get an email a week later, just to let you know, we've opened it up now to non-season ticket holders. So there's seats available now at 110 quid each instead of the 90 quid. They offered me them for 110 when I'd refused the 90 quid ones. You're like, what fucking planet are you on?
How about this? How about more money? Come on. Here. How about this? And a half price Henrik Larsson polo.
Henrik Larsson collection just came out.
What do you reply to that, Joe? You say, how about no, you crazy Dutch bastard?
I was queuing up at 9. Went to the superstore just in case
to get your Henrik Larsson limited edition watch.
Pardon me. Yeah. Insane. The responses to that post of the Larsson stuff was hilarious. Just reading all down them. Just, you're at it. You're fucking at it. Seriously. One post was, in quotes, remember that time we bought a guy for fuck all and it was amazing? And he stayed.
That's very good, isn't
it? Made me laugh. Sorry. Choke with that here.
So would they be ranking them or do you think we'll get a result? I think
so, people. I think so, mate.
I think it's impossible to be confident. It's like
I think so. I think we're going to do it.
I hope so, but I could see. I don't know. I could see. Hopefully, as you say, right, there won't be that big a crowd, and probably when you look at it, right, early Europa League got probably one of the biggest crowds of the night, right, across Europe, but it should be full. And it's not going to be. So the ones that are there, hopefully, as you say, the protest is off, everybody gets behind the team, etc. Feel like a bit of a fraud, no going, but you know what? I'm sticking by it and I'm no going. And I'm not even that gutted about it. I thought I would have been. Mick never took his either, and we were talking about it at work today. He's like, you got it, but no going tomorrow. I'm like, we go to every game. I'm like, I'm no. But maybe the more I will be, but no, I don't feel gutted about it at all. I would actually have been embarrassed to tell folk that I wasn't going. I probably wouldn't even have said it on here. But do you know what? I'm not embarrassed at all. They're just taking the piss. Taking the absolute piss. And nah, I'm not putting up with it.
I wear no convict's uniform.
Not meekly serve my time.
I think there's many layers to the entire kind of idea of not taking tickets.
Like an onion.
Yes, exactly. Just like an onion. Or a turnip.
Not for the books.
Or a cabbage or a cauliflower. I think there's layers to it in terms of like the fact that, you know, there's the sense of like standing up for what you feel they're doing wrong. And also the economic side going like, can't keep giving you money if you're gonna fucking just treat us like dicks. Right?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, and with the increases, like the way the world is going and like prices going up and stuff, everybody's kind of like getting economically a bit more savvy and a bit more aware, going like, come on a second, where am I putting my money?
But Joe, see this club, right? Let's be honest about it. Right? Let's be honest about it. If Celtic went out of the Kyrat game, as Marty says, we'd done things right, and on the night, things had went wrong.
Yeah,
Jason with the body tickets.
100%. 100%.
Right? We just opened a big fucking fantastic show in Glasgow, right? And somebody sent me a video, and it looks magic. And you know me, I'm 46 today. 46. I've been told by people who fucking. I've been told by people who've got better dress sense than me that no adult should wear fucking Celtic stuff, right? You shouldn't be doing that. Well, I fucking do, right? Because you know what being 46 allows me to make my own fucking decisions.
Exactly.
Right? Fucking, and I'll wear what I fucking want, and I'll no fucking listen to you, and you can just shut your mouth. So I like going in and fucking supporting Celtic. I like that. I choose to do this, but they've got to treat us right. They've got to, and I know they're no bound to fucking the end of their bound to their. Something went wrong with the ownership of Celtic. Something went, because there's no chance Dermot Desmond bought into Celtic thinking, by the way, we could make loads of money after this.
I think maybe the English Premiership he thought would have been an option. And I reckon that would have been his
Fair dues, but at some point, something's happened with him that he's kind of looked at it and went, well, we're all winning, and this board of directors of mine are sticking money on the table, and we're keeping, and I don't even need to buy the whole of Celtic because I've got this wee cushy arrangement with a hedge fund who are happy with their money coming in every year, and I can just fucking carry on. And the thing is, I don't even need to listen to them because see, as soon as we win again, they'll all just stop moaning because I've seen it, and they've just treated us like fucking rats. And then this build up a money thing.
On that RGC podcast as well, Dermot Desmond has never been to an AGM. I found that incredible.
See, when he said that, I thought he'd been to one, but I'll go with, because they obviously go to them. So I mean, I've been to one AGM, and I have to say they summed it up perfectly. One of the most boring afternoons I've ever been in my fucking life, man. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I think we'll win tomorrow. I'm not so confident Monday will go as fucking swimmingly as, but I stand here to be impressed by the Celtic board, but I stress again for anybody that's just jumped in, support the collective, man, because they're doing it for our benefit. Even I've said this before. See if somebody comes along and they think that he's better suited to be on it, I will step aside and I'll be the soldier that I proclaimed I would be, because they're doing it for the right reasons. They are. It's see, listen to the passion for them. It's brilliant. It's really good. So I know our punters, all you arseholes, right? And I know you's a very kind, and I know you support. But even it's up to you as well to kind of go out and spread the word and tell people, nah, forget that attitude, forget being snidey and all that. We've got to stick together, and you can disagree with things, and if you've got a fucking voice, you come in and we'll listen, but don't be sticking the boot in just because. You know what I mean? We need support. We definitely need support so we can get the best for all of us.
Totally.
One voice.
One singer.
One movement. One love.
Nice one, Joe. Nice one, kid. Right, where are we at? I'm going to my bed.
I think we're done. Fuck that.
Fuck that.
I'll give you a wee hanging. I didn't mention it, but Saturday for the game, I had young Michael Jones that obviously tragically lost his life when they were building Bramley Moor Dock, the Howard Dickinson Stadium.
Yeah.
So his mum and dad came up to the game, Michael and Elaine,
Fantastic.
and I had the two of them in big ski. Took him into bar 67 Saturday. It was quite funny as well. We were sitting there, met. I tell you about that Hibby that I met before me. So he came through and he's a lovely boy, man. So he was the one that the cardinal flag, the tricolour, he kept putting up. See there, I can't remember his name. The cardinal that formed Hibs. He's where he was born in Limerick and all that. So he had that in the tricolour. But so he's sitting in bar 67. There was a few years, and then Stevie, I think the bar came out and says, "Jason, you need to come out." I'm like, "What is it?" He's like a Basque boy, and so there's a boy. So I says, "Where are you from?" He's like, "Victoria." I says, "Alaves." He's like, "Aye." So I started telling him about athletic. He couldn't believe it. He's like, "Fucking it." So he was a Napoli fan. So it was him, an Alaves fan, a Napoli fan. We're off for the game. He was loving it. And so that was it. Took Mick and Elaine. We went up and seen young Michael's stone that we got put down at Celtic Park for him. Then went to the game, and then we did a night out in the town after it, and they just loved it. They had a great night. But when they were telling us, after Michael died, obviously Everton Football Club, they says they couldn't have been any better with him. Says unbelievable. Says they actually asked him how many season tickets these want, and they weren't even going to charge them. They would have gave them as many as they wanted, but they took two and they pay for them. But they've gave them the best seats in the new stadium. And Elaine's like that to me, "You can have mine any game you want." I was fucking nearly greeting.
Oh,
but, but what's happening now is the court case is about to start with the construction company. And young Michael's gaffer has never spoke one word to Mick since he died. Fucking hell. So that'll be going to court soon, but it's nothing to do with Everton Football Club, it's a construction company. So I hope they get justice. But that was pretty fucking hard to hear. That was the first that kind of really opened up to me and told me all about it. But what Everton Football Club have done for them is nothing short of brilliant, you know.
Brilliant. That's great. Yeah.
It's good. It was good, really good to hear. They says they couldn't have done any more. So as a football club, they're like, amazing. Really, really sad.
I was going to moan at you for bringing it back to Everton, but that one's a good one. Well done. Right, Joe.
I suppose that's us done.
The fuck, God.
Joe.
Wrap it up, the fuck.
Fuck.
I always laugh at that.
Hold on. Hold on.
The fuck, God.
Right, all right, Joe, close it up.
Let's go, right, boys. That was good fun. Come together. That's the message.
Right now, over here.
Over here. Over where?
Over here.
I'll see you over there. Back about.
Over there.
Hail, hail.
Yeah, hail. See you later, team.
Hail, hail, troops.